Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Brittany, and today's video is another Weird Books for Weird Girls reading vlog. So if you didn't catch the first one, I read Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. Absolutely loved it. It was a solid start to this video series that I hope it becomes. It's a cool way to read, really different things, because I want to make these videos and talk about books. It also got me thinking more critically and just really diving into the weird book and what it means. So I'm making a little beverage here. I've got a Red Bull. So I don't know where this came from, but we have these things in Alaska called Red Bull Specials. I don't know who came up with it. I don't know if it's trademarked. If it's not, they probably should. But basically it's an Italian soda with Red Bull. So that's what we're doing. I like blueberry coconut always, and we're just going for, oh my god, that looked like a lot. We're just going for a vibe at this point. Like to taste blueberry coconut, and this is very specific. My mom will make fun of me, but you need the Da Vinci brand syrup. If you make this with Torani, it's different. It just tastes different. And if you're a barista, if you are particular about brands like me, then they taste different. It's not the same. The blueberry that Da Vinci makes is really tasty. And then cream. Some half and half. Ooh, yeah, let me get a straw. All I have are these straws that are the length of my body. One thing I will say is if you use sugar-free Red Bull, it will curdle immediately. As soon as you put the half and half in, it curdles. It looks fucking nasty. It doesn't taste it that bad, but it's not great. So I have just gotten off 3 night shifts. I have tonight off. Who knows what the fuck I'm gonna do tonight? And then I go back for one more. So yeah, we're drinking a Red Bull Special at 6 p.m. And then hopefully I'm gonna get some good reading in. I showed you a couple books I had bought in the last video. I picked up Labvana by Tesha Moshfegh and Looking Glass Sound, I think, by Catriona Ward. And I don't know if I'm gonna pick those up yet because I went to the library and randomly found another weird book that I had seen, and my girlfriend also found it at another local library, so I think we're gonna check that out together. So I think that might be my next weird book. Let me grab it, and I need ice because, yeah, we need ice. So let's do, I feel like I need just a smidge more. Oh, it's so good. It's creamy and sweet and sugary and delicious. Oh my god. The OG flavor when this came out in my hometown was raspberry vanilla. I have always been a blueberry coconut girly. Blueberry coconut or none. And I'm sorry, I don't know why we're propped like this, why I'm crunched over, but it's what's happening. So I picked up Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett, and it sounds really, really strange. One morning, Jessa Lynn Morton walks into the family taxidermy shop to find her father has committed suicide right there on one of the metal tables. Shocked and grieving, Jessa steps up to manage the failing business while the rest of the Morton family crumbles. Her mother starts sneaking into the shop to make aggressively lewd art with the taxidermied animals. What the fuck? That's already so much in a little paragraph. Her brother Milo withdraws and struggles to function, and Bryn, Milo's wife, and the only person Jessa's ever been in love with, ooh, that's messy, walks out without a single word. As Jessa seeks out less than legal ways of generating income, her mother's art escalates, and the Mortons reach a tipping point. For the first time, Jessa has no choice but to learn who these people truly are and ultimately how she fits in alongside them. This is a debut novel, darkly funny, heart-wrenching, and an eccentric look at love and loss. So, yeah. Sounds very, very strange. I think I'm gonna read a bit and then maybe shower. Ugh. If you've ever worked a night shift, you just know, I'm just dead. I don't know what to do. I don't know where am I don't know who I am. So I might just like chill on the couch for a bit, hopefully get some good pages in, and then like shower, clean, try to like move my body a little bit. But that's where we're at. I wish I could take this dust jacket off. Ooh, that looks so cool under there. If I can. Oh yes, it's like hot pink, says mostly dead things. I just love how freaking pink it is. One Red Bull special and 55 pages into this book, I grabbed a snack, some jalapeno cheese dip with some tortilla chips, and I am way too sleepy for 8 p.m. after working some night shifts. So I'm either gonna take a little power nap or like try to move here soon. I'm liking this book so far. It's definitely interesting. It is, I don't know if I'd say graphic, but very descriptive of the taxidermy things that have to be done to animals, but when they're processed that way. So I don't know, it hasn't bothered me at all. But just know that that is a part of the story. Also, there is some descriptions of our main character, Jessalyn, finding her father after he's committed suicide. So if that is something potentially bothersome for you, also, I think that's like just worth being aware of. I have lost someone to suicide, and it kind of depends on like what's being described to content and how I'm feeling as far as like whether that bothers me or not. It really just like depends. It's kind of funny too, like in general. So this takes place in Florida, and kind of like the description says, like Jessa's dad like inherited the taxidermy shop from his dad, and so it's been like a family business, and her dad was really good at it. And we're very quickly like introduced to the family, introduced to the taxidermy side of things, and then we jump years later when he commits suicide and like kind of the aftermath of his passing. And Jessalyn is pretty much like trying to take charge and take over the family business, and is obviously struggling. It's not going well. The mom, like only a few pages in, already made a very like pornographic lewd display with the taxidermied animals. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of funny in like a weird way. Jessalyn's trying to like take care of the store, and obviously like having a very disturbing graphic like setup in like the front display window is not great for business. Or is it? It might not be so bad because she gets approached by an art dealer. It seems like this could strangely be made into a movie, but like one of those like quieter like cinematic ones. It hasn't gotten like A24 beard yet. I don't know, like it is just kind of fascinating. So we shall see. I'm gonna eat my snack, keep going, and I'll give you another update. We've already gotten some of the messy relationship between Jessalyn and her brother Milo, and Bryn, Milo's wife, had left him, and then we just got like some flashbacks of Jessalyn and Bryn as young girls, like 16. Jessalyn very obviously has a crush on Bryn, and so we're kind of getting some of that, and obviously like that's very complicated if you kissed your future brother's wife, like. Show you what's looking at me right now while I read this book about taxidermy and animals. That's nice. I just remembered we have that. It came in the house and we should have had it taken down because we're not into taxidermy, but there she is. Or he, I don't know. I have to switch rooms if it starts getting weird. What's up? What's up? I last left you, I think, at, it was like only 8 p.m. on, what's today? I don't even fucking know where I am or what's happening. I left you on 8 p.m. on like a Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. I managed to stay up until 5 a.m. Slept all day Tuesday and then worked Tuesday night, and I got off this morning. Here we are. I am about 115 pages into this book, and I can see why it's a little strange. I think what makes this a weird book is, first of all, like the characters' like profession. I feel like taxidermy is not the most popular, maybe, I don't know. It is a little bit of an obscure profession, and it is very, like, it's pretty descriptive of like what goes into the job with the animals. So far that hasn't really turned me off. It's been fine. I don't know if you should like eat while you're reading, but like it's been all right. And then I think the other thing that makes this very strange is our main character's relationship with her brother's wife. Like, first of all, ew. And then also just like the like sexual component with the art Jess's mom is doing with the said taxidermy animals. So like definitely like a few things that make this kind of odd. The art, in a weird way, like I feel like it's kind of funny because there's a part where like an art dealer, like a gallery owner, is like looking at this art and she's like, your mom is brilliant, and like what is described is the most strange, sexual, odd, fucking weird thing I've ever been like had described to me. But then there's a part of me that's like, kind of want to see this in real life. Like, you've piqued my curiosity enough. Like, kind of want to see what these displays are looking like. And I think that's what's so funny sometimes about the art world, at least from like an outsider who has no academic training, like knowledge of how art really works when it comes to like curating popular pieces. It does seem like either really weird or like super simple things become very popular and they're like incredibly profound, and it's like, okay, like sounds good to me. So like I can see like in real life these things being received well. Another fun little tidbit on page 87 for the physical copy is where we get like a subtle nod to the cover of the book, and I always think that's really fun. When you understand like the cover art, or you get like the title itself in the book, like someone says it or it's like laid out for you, I always think that's really fun to catch. So I'm always like on the hunt for that. We're getting some more then and now with Jessa and her friend Bryn when they're young girls and like starting to be together. And then we've gotten a few flashbacks to when like her brother Milo and Bryn have this like fucking weird situationship happening. Jessa's finances have gotten a lot worse, and her mom's art has like officially escalated. And it now involves Christmas lights. Just when you thought it couldn't get stranger. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really would love to see how this looks. We're getting like flashbacks too of like Jessa's dad when he was alive. So overall, it's been a very interesting read. I'm like weirdly liking it. We'll see how the rest of it shapes up. But it's been quite a trip so far. Another fun little tidbit, Kristen Arnett, she is a queer fiction and essay writer. So if you are looking for some LGBTQ rep, it's in here. So this is her debut novel, but she's written like plenty of other essays and won some awards for them. So just kind of like interesting. I don't know. I've found that the more I read, you know, I just become more interested in the author. Like, who are they? Why did they write the story? And I think also it's like cool to know if it's like a debut or not. Like, that's kind of a big deal, especially if it's done really well. I think that's exciting. I might be able to finish it today. It is 1 p.m. I got home at like 8 a.m. Fell asleep, I think, by 9. I've only slept for a couple hours. We're gonna try to stay up until a normal bedtime so that I can hopefully sleep, flip, and wake up with the rest of the world in the morning tomorrow. yeah, gonna like make a snack, drink some caffeine. I should be able to get a good amount of reading in today. Maybe finish. We shall see, and I will keep you updated. I just wanted to show you the epitome of fashion. I've got some nice comfy sweatpants on, some snow boots. Oh yeah. And this thing is called the Comfy. And we're gonna have a little fire outside. Just wanted to show you the look, because we are killing it right now. Yeah, we're gonna have fire. It's like nice. It's 30 degrees out. It's not super windy. It's not snowing. Like the sun's kind of peeking through. So hoping to read while I sit by the fire. Out again today. Love it. It's like a touch too windy to like chill outside. I didn't end up reading much last night because I didn't want this library book to get smoky. I didn't want it to like kind of stink. So I only read maybe like 15 pages, not too many. So I don't really have an update for you, but I'm hoping to like crank through. I'm definitely halfway through. So I'm hoping to make some solid progress this afternoon. I finally feel human again. I've showered, I worked out. I slept all right last night. I've got a little snack plate and some chocolate to balance out the veggies. And yeah, I'm just gonna like just read and have a little snack, so. Oh, I really would love to see these art pieces. These are so strange. Oh my god. So I finished Mostly Dead Things a few days ago, and I just wanted to like sit on my thoughts for a minute, you know, try to get things clear and coherent and thought out for you. But overall, I would say this is a good book, but this is not going to be for everybody. There's a lot of content in here and things that I think are going to be off-putting, and it's strange in a different way than Night Bitch. It's a very different type of weird. So the main plot really is just this family grieving after the loss of like the husband, their father, and trying to navigate that. And while they're like navigating their grief, they're basically just a bunch of hurt people, kind of hurting people and themselves, like not addressing the taxidermy elephant in the room, if you will. They're basically just like not talking about a lot of stuff and how that manifests in their relationships and their self-care, like kind of the choices they make, I feel like is really reflected in not dealing with stuff. Other parts of the story, there is the mother who's using taxidermy art, very lewd, pornographic, like inappropriate art, to cope with her grief. And then Jessa is also struggling, you know, not only from the loss of her father, but from trying to maintain this business that's been in their family for years. But she's also recovering from a heartbreak, because she was sleeping with her brother's wife. They had a very strange relationship that they need to work through. So it was very interesting. What makes this strange, I mentioned in a previous clip, is the taxidermy, like the pornographic art that mom is making, and just some of like the quieter moments that Jess is going through are a little strange as well. The animal stuff didn't bother me for the most part. Once you get over like the initial shock of what is happening, with the taxidermy process. It actually is almost beautiful in a strange way, because you can tell, like, when Jessa is making her taxidermy, like, she wants it to be perfect. She's taking a lot of care in creating and making sure things line up and they look good. So it kind of changes tone a little bit, but when you first are reading it, it's like, oh, like, they're just straight gutting animals here. Okay. At least for me, like, I've never been a farm girl. I don't hunt or anything. And so, like, any kind of, like, obviously know where our food comes from and animals, but, like, just to read about it is very different. The only animal stuff that does bother me is Jessa resorts to some very illegal and less than ethical ways of obtaining animals. So those scenes are brief, but enough where I was like, no, no. Because for the most of the book, like, they're doing mounts that people had brought in from hunting or trying to salvage roadkill. And so when things take a different turn, you're like, okay. That was the only time it really bothered me. The other, like, content warning I just want you to be aware of is Jessa's father commits suicide, and she finds him, and that scene right at the beginning of the book is very, very graphic. So if that is a potential, upsetting topic for you, just know, I mean, her father's suicide is talked about throughout the book because it's a main source of their grief. And just those beginning scenes, I was like, okay. It was a little hard. Overall, not the grossest or most horrific thing I've read. If anything, I really want to see the mother's art because it was so fucking weird. Like, it was so strange. And I'm like, well, now I want to see what it looks like. Like, okay. I would say the pacing for this book is a little on the slow side. It's very meandering. It's very descriptive. We get a then and now timeline of when Jessa's father was alive and when Bryn was still around, Mila's wife, and the girl that Jessa is in love with. And so we get, like, when they were young kids, a little bit into their weird adult future. But really, just kind of a slow meandering timeline until, like, the last 50 pages. Things really picked up. But then it didn't feel like we explored the conflict enough. I still had questions. I'm like, well, why did they do that? That makes no sense. Like, you're just gonna, like, be okay with those things? Like, like, I felt like we meandered and we were slow for so long, and then it was over, and I'm like, wait a second, like, can we address that? I don't know. It was just interesting, because I'm like, no, I have questions. I need to talk to you. Like, it was decent. It was okay. It kept me engaged enough to keep going. Our main character, Jessa, is okay as well. Like, you're just basically watching her make decisions out of grief and sadness and, like, self-loathing. Like, she is very lost in her suffering in a way. Like, she's keeping the store afloat, but she's just drinking night after night, and she's just, like, not dealing with it and just not eating and just covering it up and just really suffering in that way. But, like, everyone kind of sucks a little bit in this book. I think Bryn is the worst character, in my opinion. You'll have to read it and see if you agree with me. She was a very interesting character as well for how big of a role she played without ever actually meeting her. It was very interesting. Overall, I would say this was a good read. I didn't love it as much as Night Bitch. Like I said, it's very strange in a different way. It's not like Fever Dream where you don't know, like, what's fake and what's reality, like, where you're confused with your characters. It's pretty straightforward. And really, I would say the main theme is just people working through their shit with an interesting way of doing that and involving taxidermy. If this sounds like something up your alley, definitely check it out. And if you have more weird books for me, drop them down below. I will see you in the next one. Bye!